keep on trying. I'm about that life, never quit. I'm about that life, keep on striving. I'm about that life, keep on pressing. I'm about that life, keep on shining. I'm about that life, keep on dreaming. I'm about that life, never stopping. I'm about that life. I'm about that life. I'm about that life. You know, they say I'm dreaming. Yes, I'm dreaming. So what? I don't care. She's about that life. I'm about that life. It's a dream thing, y'all.
Today on About That Life, I sit down and talk to a world class musician. From playing the drums in his church in Lexington, Kentucky, to playing on stages in Africa, he has definitely built up credits to his name. He has worked with gospel recording artists such as Kurt Franklin, Vashawn Mitchell, and the past 3 years he has toured with multiple award winning artist CeCe Winans. But his ultimate accomplishment is indeed his family. Here is Alan Mabson. All right, Alan. Thank you for being here today with me on Zoom.
No problem.
Yeah, I
Thank you for
appreciate
having
it.
me.
Yeah. I want everybody to know how I know Alan. We are cousins. You married my cousin, Sharon. Is it going on 20 years now almost?
Maybe 21 this year.
What? That's okay. I'm sorry. I thought it was almost 20. Okay. I'm just trying to
Mm,
remember it now. I was in his wedding and it's a blur now. That went by so fast. My goodness. Well, congratulations on almost 21. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. And he's all the way out in Ohio, so I thank him for speaking to me. He's dealing with the winter cold, so
Yeah, terrible.
sorry.
Terrible.
As you were growing up, did you always want to be a musician?
Yes. And no. Yes and no. So, on my dad's side of the family, there's a very musical family. Everybody either plays an instrument or preaches. Just about 80% everybody. So growing up, I was around music my entire life. But at a time, nobody knows this really. I kind of wanted to be a martial artist.
Okay. No, I did not know that. I did
So
not
there
know.
was a time I wanted to be a martial artist, but I never take any type of martial art class or anything. Um, at a time, my aunt was dating a guy. He was like a 10th degree black belt, and he would show me a couple of things. So I was like, "This is what I want to do." So at a time, that's what I really wanted to do. But then music won.
Ah, no training. You didn't want to put in the training for it. You just wanted
Yeah, it was like, I got to do all of that. Never mind. No, thank you.
Was it because you watched a lot of Bruce Lee movies?
Yep,
I feel
yep.
like it's always Bruce Lee that everyone's like,
And then Chuck Norris. I was Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris, and I was like, man, I
uh,
want to do that.
that makes sense. Yes. Would you ever try to go back now and just do some martial arts, combat training or anything?
I
Never.
would just to get in shape.
How did you get involved in music?
I got involved through church, maybe around 7 or 8, 6 or 7, between 6 and 8 years old. My church it was a children's choir, and we used to have to sing. But then my cousin, who was playing for the children's choir, moved to the youth choir. So the children's choir didn't have a drummer. So a cousin of his baby brother, which his name is Nolan, him and I would share the songs for the children's choir. So that's how I got involved because they needed a drummer. And I was tired of singing.
I
I
got
can't
you.
sing. I was like, I got to do something else.
You don't
So
know how to
that's
sing
how I
a
got
little bit,
involved.
just a little bit. I doubt you can not sing. I'm sure you can.
Oh,
I'm sure you can keep in tune and not go flat.
I don't know. They say I'm tone deaf, so I don't know.
Oh wow. I can't say yes or no. I've never heard you sing. All
So
I've ever
that's how I got involved, though. But no, I can't sing. I was tired of singing. I was like, I'm tired of being up here. they made me lead a song, and I was like, I never want to do this again. So,
It's scary. I understand. I understand.
so how can I get out of doing this? I'll go play the drums. That's what I'll do.
Yeah. Had it not been for church, do you think you would be, you know, as involved in the music as you are, or even have taken up the drums if it had not been for church?
I believe so. If it had not been for church, I probably wouldn't have taken an interest because my home church back then, um, we had every instrument in the church at one service. We had horns, percussion, guitars, basses, organs, keyboards. So as a kid, my dad would listen to Earth, Wind, and Fire as one of his favorite groups. So to hear those records and then go to church and say, hold on, those same elements are in my church, like that was fascinating. So it was like, this is unbelievable. Like, we have horns? Like, who has that? Like,
Mhm.
it was unheard of in Lexington, Kentucky. So it was like, oh, this is nice. Like, I like going in. So yeah, if it wasn't for church, I probably wouldn't have been involved in music.
You said Earth, Wind, and Fire, and I love them. Do you have a favorite Earth, Wind, and Fire song?
Yes. After the Love is Gone. I
Okay.
believe that's the title.
Mhm. Can't go wrong with that
That's
one. I love
that's
In the
like my favorite. In the
Zone.
Stone? Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
That's
I think it's
that's a
because
hit.
it reminds me of Drumline, the movie.
Yeah.
That's actually the first time I heard the song, I regret to say, but that is my introduction, and then because it was the band version of the song, and I was like, "This
Right.
is." I was thinking it was some new joint song or something. Nope. Mm-mm. But
No,
no.
no, that's old. But you
So
can't, it's like the older groups laid a foundation that you really can't get away from. It's like everything that's out now either has a sample or they
mm,
try to remake it, and it's like it was great music. So
that was used with real instruments.
yeah.
Ugh. Yeah, I love listening to Motown songs now and just like actually having an ear to hear different instruments that are like, oh, okay, wow, that's completely different, like you said, to what you hear now. Not saying they're not using instruments for some of their, songs. It's just it has a different sound to it. What's the best part about being a drummer?
Best part about being a drummer. I would say in actuality, the band really leaned on the drummer.
Hmm.
The drummer actually controls the band. Not that he's not in an arrogant way, but you keep the time. So you're
Hmm.
the heartbeat of the band. So without the heartbeat, anything is dead. So that's the best part about being a drummer, that you actually get to keep this thing alive.
Hmm. Love that. Do you read music?
No, but that's something I'm still wanting to take some private lessons to learn. Try to teach myself, and I
Mm.
get frustrated with certain little things, so I just give up. But I do want an instructor to like really break some stuff down for me. Maybe 2002. My cousin had got a call to do something. He couldn't do it, so he referred me, and it was for the University of Kentucky. And so I'm used to learning by ear. So it's like if I hear it once, pretty much I can play it.
Wow.
Well, a friend of mine went with me to the rehearsal, and he's from Cincinnati, and he went to a performing arts school. So throughout his whole school career, he was involved with music theory, so he could read anything. Well, they put the chart in front of me, and I'm like, what is that? Uh, I can't. So he had to read it and tell me what to play. But the conductor just didn't feel safe doing that for the performance. So he was like, I'm gonna have to go another way. So they brought another guy in. He was like, why don't you stay afterwards and watch this rehearsal and see the benefit of reading? Well,
Mm.
after the first rehearsal with my friend telling me everything to play, by the time the second rehearsal came, I knew everything because I heard it. So it was like, oh, I can play it, but he was like, I don't feel safe with that. I understand, I'm sitting there watching you play everything, and with air drums, it's like, oh, that's incredible. But if we throw a new song out, if we say we're taking this one out, put a new, we're stuck. So it's necessary for certain situations.
What's a
Yeah.
guilty pleasure song that you enjoy?
I didn't have one until just a few minutes ago because my wife said, yes, you do. And I was like, what? And she was like, it's a song by Chicago. You're the inspiration.
Oh, okay. Maybe I've
I
heard
can listen to that any time of the day. And it was something I just forgot, but I guess that is one.
and that's something that you just be playing in the car somewhere or just like you find your little private spot and you just listen to.
Yes.
Why do you like that song so much?
First of all, David Foster. I believe he produced it and wrote that. So he's one of my favorite producers.
Hmm.
Um, Peter Peter Santera, one of my favorite vocalists. And, he used to be the lead guy for Chicago. And it's just the melody. It starts off with a piano interlude, and like I wish I played piano. I think I'm a frustrated piano player slash bass player. I can't play either instrument, but I wish I could.
Right.
So I love the piano on that song. I love the dynamics of the song. Just really, it's the piano. So that song, yeah, that's it for me.
I love it. I'm gonna have to look it up. I bet you I've probably heard it. I don't a lot
You've
of
heard
times.
it. It's on a lot of soundtracks, a lot of movies, a lot of shows.
Wait, say the name
So
one more time.
you're the inspiration by Chicago.
Okay. I'll listen to it when we get off this Zoom. What was your first major gig?
First major gig was back in 2001 with a national gospel recording artist by the name of Rodney Bryant.
Hmm.
Um, it was a good friend of mine, Titus Robertson, who was in Louisville, Kentucky at the time when I was living in Lexington. And he called me. And he was kind of one of the first people to take me out of Lexington. And I'm so forever grateful for that. He called me to come to Louisville and do something. And he was like, hey, man, what you doing next week or a few weeks from now? Rodney Bryant song, He's a Keeper. I was like, yeah. Like, hey man, you want to do some dates? I was like, yeah. And I think actually it may have been my first or second gig. It was right after 9/11, 2001. And they flew me to Chicago, and I was so nervous. It was right after that whole ordeal with the towers and stuff. And I was like, oh, and it was my first time ever in Chicago.
Oh.
And we flew over downtown, and I was like, what in the world is that? I've never seen a downtown. I was like, what is that? And they're like,
Mm.
man, it's Chicago. You ain't never been here. I was like, no. So that was my first major gig.
Oh, that's amazing. I still
First
haven't
time in Chicago.
I haven't been to Chicago. Like, I've flown over it tons of times, when I'm flying home to, visit you guys in Ohio, but, I've never even actually been in Chicago.
It's a huge city. I'm not a fan of Chicago, but you might like it.
Yeah. It seems like, it definitely is a great spot for, entertainers, it
Yeah.
seems, so I definitely plan to visit one day. That's amazing, though. I didn't know all that was happening. I was too young to be paying attention to what you were doing. So, that's amazing. All that was happening while I was growing up. I was around somebody that was, taking off like that, soaring like that. Is
You
amazing.
didn't like me. You didn't like me. You never spoke to me. So we're not going to talk about that right now.
Well, yeah, we don't have to go into the fact that you used to pick on me all the time. But it's
No.
okay. We're past that now. What do you love about gospel music?
I love the soul in gospel music. Um, I love the freedom that you have in gospel music. A lot of genres are structured, and I'm saying this from a musician standpoint when you're performing. Um, It's very structured, and gospel is structured, but you have a little bit more freedom. You have a little bit more to play from here. Um, you can have the same, like on a tour, you can have the same show, but it can feel different every night. Some genres, it has to feel the same every night. Can't change. So I love that the most about gospel, just the freedom, the heart that's in gospel. You get to play from the heart. You get to express yourself differently every night.
Do you remember the very first like gospel song that resonated with you?
All in my name. I don't know why I did, but it was something as a kid when I heard it, and it just made me cry.
I feel the same way about Total Praise. All these opportunities that you have been given, did you ever have to audition for any of them? Have you had
No,
no audition? Oh, wow. See? Blessings.
what in a way, your first when you get called, your first gig is your audition.
Hmm.
In a way, it is. But anything prior to that, I've never had to. I have went on a few auditions, stuff I didn't make, but in actuality, your first gig is your audition, and it really continues even after that.
Hmm.
Every concert is an audition.
I get you. You're having to prove yourself.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah. That's well, it's like I guess in a way, like while you're at church service and you're actually just doing what you're doing as a drummer, somebody might be watching you and looking at you for a potential opportunity. So, hmm.
Yeah, I treat every situation. I don't care if it's in a classroom or a stadium. I treat them all the same. I never slight anything. Like I give my all in every situation. Like you said, you never know who's watching, who's listening. Even off the stage, I try to conduct myself a certain way because you never know who's watching. All of that plays a part in maintaining a quote unquote gig or whatever.
Hmm.
So
What is something about the music industry that you love and dislike?
the one thing I love is for traveling. I like to see new places.
Hmm.
Um, the one thing I dislike, so many. I'm just like,
You don't have to tell me all of them, you know?
no, the one thing I would say I may dislike, you always have to prove yourself. You always want to advance. You always stay on your P's and Q's. But I think sometimes it's the stress of it. Sometimes it can get to you like, okay, you got these young kids coming up. Like, am I still relevant? Because the sound is always evolving. I think that's the thing. I like it and I dislike it at the same time. Because sometimes, I mean, you stay true to who you are, but with technology and it's sort of like you always got to change though.
Hmm.
And sometimes that can be stressful, if that makes sense at all.
No, it does. It does. It really does. What is it like to work with CC Winans, and how did that come about?
What is it like? It is an amazing experience. Um, uh, there's, I don't know what else to say. It's great. It is great. It came about uh 2022, maybe back in June of 2022. I was at work working at Amazon, and I have two friends, Thomas Harding Jr. and Tyrone Jackson, and they're currently musical directors, co-musical directors for CC. So I've known Thomas for over 20 years. Tyrone, almost close to 20 years. So I've had a working relationship with them, but for a long time. And Thomas had got the call to become musical director 2022,
Mm.
and they gave him leeway to kind of do what you want to do with the band. And I was at work, and they called me and said, "Hey, man, you still play drums?" I was like, "Yeah, I play drums. You, yeah. Well, you want to play a little bit more?" I was like, "Yeah, what's going on? We got a couple of dates. We want to try something new with Cece, like an acoustic type thing." So I was like, "Okay." Um, but at the time, there was another drummer there, so I'm just thinking, maybe he can't do it, and it was a friend of mine, so it was like, well, maybe he's just, busy, because people get double booked. So I was like, okay, yeah, I can help out this date, and okay, we'll get back with you. I believe my friend, he just moved on to some other things, so without me knowing, I didn't know that. So they kind of called back and was like, well, man, can you do another date? And I was like, and I hadn't even done the first one that they were talking about. So I was like, yeah, well, this will be in about September. Okay, okay, cool. And we had just got back from vacation, and I was at home, and I watched a church service. Our national convention was going on at the time, and I wasn't able to make it. So I had watched the service from the night before and watched it. And at the end of the service, a guy, pastor friend of mine named Michael Smith, had gave out a prophetic word. And he had said, man, the Most High is telling me that some of you all, your names are in places you haven't even stepped foot in. Your
Mm.
name is in rooms that you haven't even stepped foot in. And years prior, I had been praying, if I'm supposed to do this, I want it to happen a certain way so I know that it's you. I'm not calling anybody. Whoever it is, they have to call me. I'm gonna
Mm.
just keep my name, keep grinding, but they're gonna have to call me. And that's kind of how it worked. That's how it manifested, and went on by my day. And maybe about 2 hours later, they called me and was like, "Hey, man, um, hey, can you just do the tour?" And
Wow.
mind you, I haven't even done the first date that we had set up. So I actually was driving to Cincinnati for a gig. That's what was going on.
Mm.
And I was just like, "Excuse me, can I do what?" So I was like, they was like, "We're gonna send you an email, just look it over, and you can get back with us, after a few days." I had already knew I was gonna say yes, but I was like, "Yeah, I'll look over it, see what it's saying,
Mm.
try to play the part." But that's kind of how that happened.
See, that's why, a lot of people in the industry talk about how important it is to be kind and professional and keep those connections and relationships that you have with people, because those doors can open. God can use those people to open opportunities for you. It's just
Yes,
so amazing to hear. And I love hearing that it's a great opportunity and great working experience with Cece, because I um I am really inspired by her, and I really loved going to see you perform, when you came out here last summer or whenever it was. Like, it was just amazing to sit there and be like, I know him, I know the drummer. And you closed out the concert. Like, she had already left the stage and you were just jamming out there. And people were like, that drummer's good. I was like, I know, right? I know him. It was so amazing to see. It's just like, I'm like, what is going on here? My cousin is up there playing with CC Winans. It's so crazy, but like, it's just all God. And I'm so proud of you. Like, I'm
thank you.
happy that it's a great experience. Are you
Uh,
guys, you're already doing touring right now, aren't you?
I actually leave out later tonight for rehearsal starting tomorrow.
Oh my
So
goodness.
the tour starts next Wednesday, February 12th in Canton, Ohio. So yeah, it's like, I don't know. I'm still, it's like, it's almost been 3 years and I
Hmm.
still don't believe it. Um, don't know.
Believe it, it's happening. What is tour life like, really?
Uh, it's what you make it.
Mm,
It's different for everyone, should I say. For me, it's a great experience. Like I said, I like traveling, but I also hate missing certain things with my kids. There's certain things I miss, like if we do a fall tour, I know the first tour I ever did, we did it in the fall. So I was out a lot of weekends. So I would miss my son's football games.
mhm,
And I want to say the next year we did a small tour. So I missed about 3 or 4 weeks of games. And he was getting interception after interception. I was like, man, I wasn't there. So it's what you make it. It can be great, or it can be terrible. It depends on how you react to certain things or how you treat it. But for me, it's wonderful. Um, I like networking with new people I meet. Building a network, um, seeing places I've never seen before. That's always a plus. But it's different for everyone. But for me, I say it's a great experience.
well, that's great. Some people may not know that you worked with Vashawn in the past.
Yes,
Yeah,
Sean Mitchell.
do you still keep in touch with him?
Yes, we'll text each other every once in a while and say what's up. That was another major gig really kind of changed me as a musician. It caused me to step out of my comfort zone
Hmm.
working with him. Some of the previous drummers were from Chicago and phenomenal guys, some friends of mine. And sitting in that seat behind them made me have to up a little bit, should I say. I couldn't play stuff so safe. So
Mm.
the music challenged me in a way. And he was the first person to take me to Africa, which was a phenomenal experience. And it seemed
Mm.
like we stayed in Africa.
You was almost about to move in there, weren't you?
Hey, I would to this day. I tell my family all the time, I want to go back.
Yeah, it's everyone puts that on their bucket list of something you have to do, or the
Hey,
to-do wish list.
I would say forget the Bahamas and Jamaica. I know everybody wants to take a
Yeah.
trip to Africa. Redirect them funds to Africa.
Wow. I have a
Like
friend
for real.
that's gone at least twice now. She's gone to Ghana. And I have my sister-in-law, she's done it too. I just know that it's a list of things you gotta do before you go there.
It depends on which part. So if you go to
Oh,
South Africa, it's not like West Africa. West Africa, yeah, you may need a few shots and things, but South Africa, you just go.
okay. Good to know. Because I was like, "Oh, it takes all that? I might not be going." Okay. What is something you would like to tell your 20-year-old self, like, right now?
20-year-old self, learn to read music. That's the first. That's first. Learn to read music. Um, Save your money.
Mm,
And I would tell myself, don't be afraid to go after what you want. Seriously, like I would have told myself, hey man, just go ahead and do it. All you can do is try. The
mm.
worst they can do is say no, and you just go try something else.
I wish we lived that model when we were younger.
Right.
And
Seriously, I
actually
really wish I did.
yeah. Like, what's the worst thing is someone says no, and the worst thing could be that you just fail, and then you can try something else. It's not as bad to
Or
fail.
just try that same thing again. And maybe
Yeah,
you just wasn't ready, you wasn't as developed. Didn't mean
right.
you couldn't do it, you just wasn't developed. Just try harder.
Mm.
Practice and try again. I would have told myself that.
what do you think about this time in your life?
I'm just enjoying it. I think I'm at a decent place. Musically, I couldn't ask for anything better. I know there's more to do. I think this time in my life, I'm growing even spiritually. Some things I'm learning, some things I had to relearn that after relearning, I'm just thankful that I do have certain knowledge of certain things now. So I think I'm, I don't know. I'm enjoying it right now.
That's
I
good.
don't, I, I don't know.
You're just being present, and that's good.
I just want to be the best man I can be,
Hmm.
whatever that is. Just whatever that may be. Just I just want to be in the right posture. That's it.
And we are at the last question. We did it. We're at the last question. He told me, he said, I don't like talking about myself.
Don't hate it.
I get it. So the last question, ironically, is do you like yourself?
You know what? I do. I like myself. I just wish I wouldn't have been as afraid when I was younger to go after certain things. That's it. But I like myself. I like myself. I just wish I could have made some wiser choices in my teens and early 20s.
I think you did well, though. You know, I think you're doing all right. You know, I think you're
Trying.
doing all right
I'm
where you are
trying.
right now. But it's that's always the thing is like, can I just talk to my 22-year-old self and just shake
Hey,
them?
I
Stop
wish.
focusing on that. Go over here, try this. Put your eggs in this basket. Of course, we always want to do that.
Right,
Hindsight 2020.
right.
But I really want to thank you for sitting down and talking with me. I know
Well,
it's
thank you for having me.
because like I have learned some stuff just in this conversation. It's crazy. I've known you for going on 20 something years, maybe even longer than that, since got involved with my cousin and then eventually married her and then became part of our family. And it's just like I'm learning just now that you wanted to be a martial arts. Like that's insane. But I do thank you for sitting down and talking with me. I really do.
Thank you for having me. Seriously. Thank you.
And I thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time on About That Life. Bye.